I want you guys to take a look at this account. It's a genuine free-to-play player with a pretty decent roster. Almost every usable character in the game. Usable? Why did I say usable? Let's go with viable. Almost every viable character that you could think of in the game, they have it. Maybe they're missing one or two. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because this is what we've all been told is the peak form of account management for free-to-play players. A good chunk of M0 limited S rank characters, maybe a couple signature W engines, but for the most part, everything else is A ranks or free. That's the goal they should strive for, right? But unfortunately, this account is a trap, technically. For a long time, we were told that collecting a wide range of agents was the key to winning Zenless Zone Zero. But what if I told you that this popular strategy, this whole horizontal investment idea, is actually holding you back from handling the toughest content in the game? For a while, it was definitely the easiest way to play, but the game has drastically changed, and that advice is going to lead to failure by the end of the year. The numbers don't lie, and in today's video, we're diving into every reason why, the in-game results, and the simple math that proves the age of collecting characters is over. I'm going to show you why a more strategic, focused, vertical investment is now the best way to win. Are you tired of losing? Are you tired of losing those 50-50s to bullshit? Well, don't worry, big dog, I got just the deal. Let me show you a popular website that helps gamers buy more for less. Not only can you score games for less, but they've also gotten a partnered top-up services, meaning you can buy your pulls cheaper too.
Oh, that's nice.
On top of that, Aniba offers something else I haven't seen any other site do, a 10% cash back with each purchase. Now I get cheaper pulls and my money back. But wait, there's more. Using my link in the description box will get you all set up to start saving more money today. Now get out there and go pull that new character. Okay, so let's keep it a buck. The whole idea of horizontal investment, of building out an account with a wide variety of characters, is incredibly tempting. You theoretically get all the characters, all the playstyles, and never get bored. It makes perfect sense, and honestly, for a long time, it was the right call. The common advice, especially for low spenders and free-to-play players, was to pull for as many different characters as you could, especially the latest agent. The benefits seem obvious on paper. You have an answer for everything. New boss is weak to a certain element? Well, you got something for that. There's a weird enemy mechanic? Okay, no worries, you got that covered too. In in-game modes that require multiple teams like Deadly Assault, having a broad roster gives you amazing flexibility. You can mix and match, cover every weakness, and adapt to whatever the game throws at you. And don't get it twisted, this strategy is still fantastic for beginners or anyone working their way through the story and early in-game. Early in-game. There we go, frick. It lets you experiment, learn different playstyles, and build a strong foundation. So over the course of time, this was the undisputed meta. It just made sense.
It just works.
Sure, you'd spread your resources a little thin, but you gained this overall approach that felt powerful. It was the smart way to play, but here's the twist. While we were all busy trying to collect them all, the game itself was changing right under our feet, and it made that entire liability for any casual player trying to push the endgame. So what went wrong? Why is a strategy that was once the best way to play now suddenly a trap? Well, it all comes down to two words: HP inflation. Yo, wait. Come on, man. Chill it out. Okay, all jokes aside, I'm serious. HP inflation was a growing issue I know a lot of you relate to, but it's always been justified by the literal game itself. So allow me to explain. This is no longer just a tiny bump in the road. It's a massive shift in how the developers are creating characters now. Let's talk numbers. When the game's challenges first appeared, a boss might have a health pool of around 13 million HP. Now that's a serious challenge, but something a diverse free-to-play roster could handle without too much sweat. But in today's game, we're now staring down enemies with over 32 million HP, with even stronger boss mechanics and playstyle restrictions on top of that. Now the problem here isn't even that it's happening at all. It's that the inflation is now happening too fast, with some patches bringing significant jumps in enemy health, and there's no longer a justified reason for it. This isn't a reasonable uptick because Ye Xiongguang has been running the game for 3 years. This is the result of the developers still trying to force Miyabi into meta irrelevance. Every update, one of us is sharing some M0 Miyabi Deadly Assault kill with a legendary set of builds. Obviously, the devs don't want this to happen. They especially don't want it to happen with a 2-year-old character, and they certainly don't want anyone being able to do it for zero cost investment. Predictably, this large HP increase hasn't come with across-the-board buffs for older characters. They're expected to compete in this new high HP world with the same kit they had when bosses were half the size. And the worst part is, they did it again, but on purpose. Ye Xiongguang is easily the most outright broken agent in the game, designed that way on purpose. So naturally, if the devs release an agent that destroys anything in the game for free, then this justifies them to dramatically ramp up the HP or difficulty of everything in the future, while always making sure future characters can't compete on her power level. Keep in mind that's just Deadly Assault. Shiyu Defense is an entirely new ballpark of tomfoolery. Not only do the bosses have more HP, resistances, or some type of new agent shield mechanic, but now they come with up to 2 floors of ridiculously beefed up mobs. There is absolutely zero reason that a Hilichurl level enemy should be taking even half of an enhanced basic attack from a well-built Miyabi. Then there's the annoying mobs that migrated from Wuthering Waves, constantly backing away from the fight to waste as much time as possible, which should never be a thing in this game. See, it's understandable if the enemy is designed to fight from a distance like Boris the Doppelganger, but then it's bullshit when the robot that's normally more aggro than Bane on Batman is suddenly playing keep away with little to no game interactions. Top all of that off with the scoring system that still needs to be changed and the realization that over 99% of players need Mindscapes to max score this in-game mode, and now you see how the problems stack. This is where the horizontal investment model completely falls apart. That wide roster of decently built characters just can't keep up. Their damage is too spread out. When you're facing a 32 million HP monster with a tight time limit, having elemental variety means nothing if none of your teams can dish out the raw, focused damage needed to burn through it. Just for a show of hands, how many of you guys are still playing M0 Evelyn with Astra and Lighter against fire weak enemies and you're still struggling? The game is no longer asking if you have the right tools for the job. It's asking if your one single tool is strong enough to break down a brick wall. And if you need proof, just look at the leaderboards for the game's toughest content. Or go on Twitter, but you will take mental fortitude damage. Let's go look at Deadly Assault, for example. It's a time-limited boss rush needing multiple teams where your score is all about raw damage output, your ability to route the entire fight, and completely understanding your team's combos or rotations. It is almost a perfect test of an account's power and player's skill level. So on one hand, you've got the horizontal investors that grab as many M0 characters as they can. Even with some great characters and maybe a few signature W engines, they're often averaging out around the 25,000 score per boss limit, which is respectable, but it's nowhere near the ceiling. And the less a player vertically invests, the more susceptible they are to any form of power creep or mechanical changes. Then you have the vertical investors. The top of the leaderboards, we're talking scores of 50,000 points, sometimes a 65,000 kill. So what's the secret? How is one hand doing it, but the other hand isn't? It's not more characters, and it's not just a skill diff. It's a hard focus and power. These top tier scores come from deep vertical investment, pulling for character dupes to unlock powerful Mindscapes, getting their signature W engines, and earning a higher skill level. To compete up there, you're not just building a character, you are literally perfecting them. We're talking about hitting benchmarks that are just plain impossible if you're spreading your resources thin. Think stats like a 60% crit rate, 190% crit damage, and over 3,200 attack on one agent, and how hard it was for some of you guys to get that. Trying to do that for 9 characters at once is a fantasy unless you're some type of mega whale. I can't even do that, and mind you, I'm not a whale or free to play. Let's go with something in the middle, but still, I can't even do that. The more you horizontally invest, the more you're gonna play catch up or keep up. I know I'm right, it's catch up, because you can't keep up with everything coming out on a 3-week schedule because characters require you to use 2 to 4 weeks to properly build them, and then you still have to go with RNG on the disk drives. Yeah, I'm right on the math. Okay. Vertical investment creates a power curve that's exponential. It's not a small 10 or 20% boost. It's the difference between your hyper-invested team smashing the damage checks needed to down a 32 million HP boss and a horizontal team just bouncing off. The score gap between 30k and 65k isn't just about skill anymore. It's mathematical proof that concentrated power now demolishes diluted flexibility in the endgame. So does this mean your account is bricked? Should you just start over and save everything for an M2 Ye Xiongguang? Obviously not. A wide roster isn't useless. Its job has just changed. Horizontal investment is still the right move for the early and mid game, The key is knowing when to pivot. So here's the new game plan that I would recommend for long-term success. First, early on, stick with the horizontal plan. Get yourself 2 or 3 solid teams using the great free-to-play and A-rank agents that the game gives you for free. This will literally carry you through the story, let you clear events, and builds up your account's foundation. This phase is all about learning the game and stacking resources, which if you want more details on that, I literally have a video that you can go watch, which somewhere up here the eye bubble will pop up. After that, you're gonna hit a transition point. This is usually when you get a few S-rank agents you really love playing. This is the moment you have to change your mindset. You have to stop pulling on new characters just to have them. Every polychrome you spend on a new agent you can't fully build is a polychrome you're stealing from the characters who will actually carry your account. I promise you these characters will come back around for a rerun faster than you think, unless it's Haramasa. Then you're Finally, you enter the vertical investment phase. This is where you become a specialist. Pick 1, maybe 2 core teams and pour everything into them up to a certain point. Are you a huge fan of Cecilia? Then push for an M1 minimum to strengthen the dual DPS core. Then use today's sponsor Aniba to save up for the rest of the Mindscapes, or Signature W engines if you want to do that. And please do your due diligence to learn what the breaking points are for some of these characters. When their Signature W engine comes back, you pull on it. Your daily stamina, it now has one job: farming the perfect disk drive sets for those agents and nobody else. This laser focus is how you, as a low spender or free to play, can fight back against the game's stupid HP inflation. Think of it like you're building a surgical tool, just like top players who prioritize reruns for agents like Ellen to get these stats that are impossible to reach any other way.
You know I'm surgical with this, Jake.
It's no longer about having more, it's about making what you have unstoppable. So let's wrap this up. The horizontal strategy of collecting a huge roster of characters is not the most beneficial right now. It comes from a version of Zenless Zone Zero that just doesn't exist anymore. The modern endgame, with its massive enemy health pools that have more than doubled to over 32 million HP, upgraded boss mechanics, and core gameplay changes, demands a new game plan. Deep vertical investment isn't just for whales anymore. It's now the most efficient and effective way for any dedicated player to beat the game's hardest challenges without ever worrying about losing out. Focusing your resources lets you build a team that can pass the brutal stat checks that define in-game success today. You're essentially moving from having a bit of everything to having one overwhelmingly powerful thing. The game has evolved. Late game horizontal investment is hurting players more than helping them now. So now I've got to ask you, are you a horizontal investor or vertical investor? Have you experienced the difference between an account with no vertical investment against HP inflation yet? Let me know your strategy down in the comments below. And if this video helped you rethink your account plan, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the Zenless Zone Zero meta. Now click this video that popped up on the side because YouTube thinks you'll really enjoy it. Smell you later.